My name is Katie Glauber Moulton, and my background at the Colony goes back many, many years, but when the resort closed, I was president and general manager, and I had been for almost 30 years. The Colony in my life dates back to when I was just 11 years old, and my father came home one night and announced that he had bought this resort. It was very exciting. We were suddenly in the hotel business, and we were just little kids, and we didn't really understand what it meant, but we knew that our parents were very, very excited about it. Next thing we knew, we were called in to be housekeepers and coffee and water girl at the brunch, and my little brother was flipping pancakes, and my older brother was working the switchboard at the front desk, and it just became a fabric of our family and a fabric of our lives. I ended up falling in love with the hotel side of the business and retail and that part of the business. I was eventually appointed president and general manager of the resort and worked side by side with my dad for 30 years and loved every minute of it. It was really part of our daily lives as a family and as individuals. Our friends would come out with us to work there when we were kids. It was really a wonderful way to grow up. My life is full of the Colony every day, not only in my own personal memories and the memorabilia I surround myself with, because it really was an important part of our lives, but because everywhere I go, I am always stopped so that someone can tell me a precious memory of theirs. They tell me about their wedding or a family reunion they had, or even a business meeting. There was something they took away from the property that was very, very meaningful for them. And today, it is still a precious memory for them. And I am just thrilled anytime somebody wants to share something with me. There was a woman yesterday who couldn't wait to remind me of when she first met me when I was all of about 35 years old that I don't remember, but she says it was that introduction and that visit to the Colony that convinced them that this is where they wanted to live. I just love those stories. So today, every day, I have great memories coming my way, and that flood of positive energy is a wonderful thing. The Colony was extremely unique, and it was intentionally so. In fact, our marketing campaign for many, many, many years was called Intentionally Different. We did things different than most of my peers in the industry who were committed to brands like Marriott and Sheraton and Four Seasons and Ritz-Carlton. We didn't have any rules. We made our own rules, so we could change them all the time. Have a relationship with the guests so that they tell you how they feel. They tell you about their experience, and you can learn not only about how to serve them, but also other guests even better in the future. More importantly, come tell me what they want and what they need so that we can make it an even better experience for the next guest or those people when they come back. The majority of our guests came back, were repeat annually every year, many of them for 30, 40 years. And they came because there was that unusual, unique, comfortable, family-like. It was like coming to somebody's personal home. We also had our concierges contact all the guests before they arrived to try to, again, customize their experience so that we knew that when they arrived, we had as much information as we could to have selected the right accommodation for them, to make sure that they had the right tennis partners, to know that the children were going to go into the children's recreation program. So the children's recreation director already knew the children's names, their ages, what year in school they were in. We did everything we could to try to learn as much about them so that every experience was something that was very memorable. We always called it the people-pleasing business because that's what we did. It was truly about making people happy, and that's what made us happy. It was an unusual situation that we were there for as long as we were. We had employees that worked for us for 30-something years. Some of the employees actually trained me when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, and they were still working there when I came back to take the operation over and stayed with me for another 20 years. We were a family. Another part of the Colony that I think helped some of the families to make memories was our children's recreation program. And a lot of the kids were just 2, 3, 4 years old, so they were learning to swim and we were teaching them and all of that. The one thing they couldn't do yet was to write their name. And in order to go to the patio bartender and get a virgin pina colada, the kids had to learn to sign their name on the check. So they would go to the children's recreation program during the daytime to learn how to write their name so that they could go to the bar in the afternoon and sign the ticket for their first pina colada and their first signature. Those are the kinds of memories that these families took with them, and they saved that first check that the child signed, and they still have it in their scrapbook. The last days at the colony were obviously painful at best. The hardest day for us was letting the staff know that we had lost our battle, and it was such a difficult day when we had to say goodbye to them. Such a difficult day. It was so emotional. But we made sure that every single penny that we owed them for the work that they did was paid, and we actually had to loan the money to the company to make sure that those paychecks were made, because there was no way that I could live with myself if every paycheck was not fully paid. My human resources director was fabulous, and she worked really, really hard to make sure that every single employee had a job opportunity when they walked out the door, because these people meant too much to me. I am very excited for the future of the colony. The colony had life and laughter and love and excitement, and there was just so much activity all the time. That property was abandoned, and that's all it is. It's just structures now. So they need to go, because for an island like Longboat Key, for a community like Sarasota, it's not something that any of us want to see, is a decaying property in the middle of this paradise that we live in. I know the developer. I've been a part of his planning all along. He's been very open and honest with me, because he knows that I have this emotional connection, but also I have all the historical information that is helpful to them as they go to the brand, the company that there is going to operate it. They need to understand the history of the colony, because it can't be successful in this community without the community embracing it, because that's really, in this community, it's kind of the way it is with that property. Everybody has a vested interest in it. They claim they're going to give a nod to the old property by having a monkey bar. The monkey bar was a gathering place for everyone. And whether it was a local person or a resort guest or a visitor from another hotel, that was where everybody went for fun. And so they've said they're going to have a new monkey bar, and we left some of that memorabilia behind for them. Hopefully that is still there, and they'll have some monkeys on the wall that we used to have and some of the artwork that we had. But they'd like to do that with a property. But having it alive again is really important to us. So on behalf of my entire family, I know for sure that we are eager and excited and enthusiastic about the future that that property holds for so many people to come.